And more specifically, we start with the dollar, which at the moment is still looking pretty bearish. I'm still looking for price to turn around. 107 is kind of my area where I'm looking for a high low to form. Whether it does form or not, we'll see. But in regarding the previous bullish leg here on the 4-hour chart, so of course, after creating this high, we created this high low, which of course went and create that high. So I'm looking for potentially a pullback of this bullish leg for price to continue higher. At the moment, from an intraday level, things are looking pretty bearish for the dollar. We are still seeing lower lows and lower highs on an intraday level, as we can all see here. Another high over there, another one, looks like another one just formed this morning. So price is really, really bearish on the lower time frames, and it's up to price to turn that around. Whether we keep falling or we start to find support here, we'll see and monitor as price does develop. But from an intraday point of view, things are looking pretty bearish. And if I kind of just delete all these drawings, from an intraday level, does look like price had a nice break and retest of this prior low on the left, and use it as resistance. And since opening up for the week, we pushed up, test that area, and now price is selling off pretty aggressively. So for dollar, like I said, I'm looking for price to turn around in this area, more specifically this consolidation on the left, which gave us a really strong move to the upside of all that momentum a few weeks ago. So if we can see some evidence of price turning around in here, I do think the buys will look good to take price higher. Of course, if that doesn't hold as support and we don't see any kind of buying pressure step in, if we do start breaking through, I'm not necessarily bearish on the dollar, but I will be looking to relax that bullish bias. And if dollar keeps falling and takes out this low, then I'll be very bearish on the dollar, expecting a lot more downside, because at that point, probably also breaking underneath this level on the weekly chart, which is a strong indication that, okay, this move that we had at the start of the year is probably just a fake out, and we could be looking at a really big swing back to the lower end of the range. So yeah, we could be looking at dollar flipping that bias if we should take out structure, which of course hasn't done yet. So not going to get too ahead of ourselves just yet. But if we don't start to show some evidence of turning around pretty soonish, we have to start looking at that move happening. But for now, this is what I'm looking for price to turn around. EURUSD, pretty much the same thing as well. Intraday, things are still looking pretty bullish. You can see numerous high lows on the way to the upside here. Looks like we might have just done another one again this morning. This is what I was referring to in the weekly analysis. Nice retest of that high. Looks like we might be using that for some new highs to start the week off. Oh, don't know what happened there. Some new highs past that point there to start the week off. However, again, looking at the larger structure for euro, this high, which of course gave us this lovely bearish leg just before we created that low. So lower low, lower high, lower low again. So again, essentially looking for the pullback of that move. And again, we're trading in an area where we could see that lower high form. However, no evidence of that yet. I think as the dollar finds support, we'll probably see EURUSD do the exact same thing. So again, if we could start to see some evidence of a lower high forming, that would be nice. And I will be looking for that swing. Short opportunity back to the lows, and of course looking for the same on the DXY back to its respective highs. But as of yet, no real sign of that happening, and we're kind of just sustaining this bullish trend. So we'll see how far that continues, whether it is going to keep pushing or we are going to turn around. But this is the area I'm looking for some sells. Again, if you are intraday on EURUSD, kind of already want to be in the position. You know, price has already found support for the day, and looks like we are continuing back to the high there. So yeah, initially kind of want to already be in the trade unless we do come back for another retest. But yeah, looking bullish intraday and probably going to keep pushing. Pound USD, I like the sells, slightly better than euro actually. It's a little bit cleaner. Coming back into a really nice level here at 1.25. And again, looking to see if we can form a lower high in this area. And again, looking to see if I can swing it back to the lows. If I zoom out, you can see overall the structure here for pound. We had the original high over there, another lower high, another lower high. So again, looking for that sequence to continue and another lower high, and retest that level is a great place for it. At the moment, no real indication of us turning over yet and selling off, so staying patient. But pound USD definitely is in an area where we could see that happen. Now it's just up to price to give us that confirmation that we are likely to turn around and not to continue being bullish. But again, intraday we are pushing pretty strong. That was a really strong 4-hour candle closure actually. Nice wick to the downside, no wick to the upside. So there's a lot of momentum in the lower time frames, as we saw with the dollar as well. Pushing pound USD up, euro up, and of course with the dollar falling. But we are in an area where I'm looking to sell. So hopefully in the next day or two, might see some nice evidence there on the 4-hour chart for some shorts and could take price lower. But I am looking for some more downside from this area. In terms of dollar CAD, I believe, are we still in the range or have we broken out? Nope, still in the range. So again, not really interested with the price action for dollar CAD. As long as we stay in the range, there's not a lot for me to do here. As I say, I'm waiting for momentum, and momentum will come after we get the breakout. So really, I just have to wait for that. As long as we stay within the range, I'm not really interested in the price action. On my weekly analysis, I was talking about price breaking the high, looking for pullbacks afterwards, and even breaking the low and looking for some shorts afterwards as well. Either way, there could be a nice opportunity here for dollar CAD. I still do think longer term we're headed to that weekly high around 1.46, 1.47. So longer term, this is the target I'm looking for dollar CAD to get to, retest that high, which we've had 2 prior rejections from. I do think we can go get a third. However, we might push the downside first, collect some buyers, maybe retest some structure before we go and do that. Or maybe the market's already bullish and it's going to break to the upside and continue. That's going to be up to dollar CAD. But whether we break the downside first or the upside first, I do think there'll be some nice opportunities because we've been consolidating for a while. So the breakout should have some decent momentum to it. And some shorts and a retest could look very good. So keep an eye on 1.43, and I'll keep an eye on the high here around 1.446. In terms of Aussie dollar, still looking at a bit more retracement for this one. Still looking a bit more retracement. It's very, very corrective down at these lows. So I'm not really interested in getting involved at those prices, but as I've been suggesting over the past couple of weeks, we've taken out some major lows here to the left. So again, in terms of shorts, I don't want to be actively looking to short at these prices anymore, at least from a swing point of view. Day trading, of course, if you're just looking to short for a session or short for a day, you could probably get away with those time periods. But if you're looking to short for potentially a whole week, this is not the best place to be looking to sell the market. You do want price to relieve itself, come up a little bit, find some other areas where we could form a lower high, and that potentially could be a trade that goes a lot further in your favor. That's kind of really what I'm looking at for Aussie dollar, and the area I'm looking to get involved is still the break and retest of this low, really strong level of support in the daily chart, which could be turn resistance and could send price back down. So that's really where I want to see Aussie dollar end up. Not too far away. Hopefully a couple of days we could be talking about price respecting that area and looking for some shorts. But again, from an intraday point of view, very, very consistent with these high lows. It looks like we're probably going to see another one this morning. So if you are on the lower time frames for the USD pairs, I would be looking to actively buy. Of course, I'm still pretty bearish longer term, but doesn't mean we can't see a day or 2 or 3 or even more of some bullish momentum, which could look good on the lower time frames. In terms of New Zealand dollar, again, pretty much the same analysis as Aussie dollar, except this one hasn't quite broken through the low yet. We haven't quite done that yet with New Zealand dollar, but I do expect us to do it pretty soon. So hence, I still expect more downside. In terms of the areas I'm looking to short from, there's a couple really nice levels on the daily chart. You've got the swing low here, connecting this low, really strong bounce, looking for the retest as resistance. Or you've got the double bottom over here as well, which looks equally as good. And again, an area which I would love to short from and potentially look to swing it back down again. Of course, whether it goes all the way down to the low, I'll be trading stop. So that might not be the case, but that's the direction I'll be looking to trade in. And similar to Aussie dollar, you can see we are fairly corrective here. So I do expect to see a lot more upside in the next kind of coming days with New Zealand dollar as a pullback. Same with Aussie dollar as well. So again, from an intraday point of view, there might be some nice buys on the way up towards those levels in the short term before we do look to sell later on. So if you are interested in those 2 pairs specifically, I think intraday buys look good. In terms of gold and silver, so gold, we have not made all-time highs yet. Very, very close to, but we had a bit of a dip in the market, which is interesting because I generally thought that would probably wake up Monday morning and price already be creating new highs. But we had a bit of a gap to the downside and we've looked a little bit bearish. I know the last 4 hour candle did close bullish, but we've had a bit of a reaction. So there is still hope for gold longs. I'm still looking to see if I can get the retest of the high here. I was originally looking for the retest after we had that first initial breakout and things were looking a little bit bearish over there, but we didn't quite see the retest, unfortunately. So I wonder, are we going to see the retest now? And if we do, are we looking for entries? Get involved in gold around 27.20, and of course, targets right back to where we came from, back to that swing high, all-time high, and hopefully further as well. But yeah, very, very bullish in gold. This one's been so consistent with these high lows. On the 4 hour chart, as we can see. So just looking for that to continue really. And now that we've got the green light for the breakout of this 27.20 level, I would expect it to hold a support and give us that final push to take out those highs. And who knows how far we could go from there. But yeah, very, very bullish in gold. I did say intraday, keep an eye on the retest of this area. It looks like that level has broken through very, very easily. So if we can get a deeper pullback, that will be much appreciated. But yeah, in terms of direction and expectation for gold, it's very, very bullish. And finally, we go through silver. So silver, again, same situation, looking for a big move to the upside, back to the weekly swing highs eventually. But silver's taking its sweet time and price action isn't looking that great, to be honest. It's very, very corrective here. So it kind of gives me the impression that silver might be forming some type of pullback for this bearish leg here, which happened a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. So yeah, I wonder if this is just another pullback for price to see another bearish move to the downside. That could be the case. Again, I am bullish longer term with silver, but it doesn't necessarily have to happen right now. We could still see another bearish leg to the downside or two before we do see the continuation. So you know, that could be the case. The important thing is not to jump the gun too early, again, to a trade that hasn't really set itself yet. So in terms of bias, pretty much set for me. Still looking at another higher high eventually for silver. So there's an original high, higher low, higher high, looking for another higher low somewhere, again for another higher high. So that is the plan. But in terms of finding entries and trading it, not quite set yet. Gold looks pretty straightforward to me. Clear level to buy from, clear momentum in the market. Silver lagging behind a lot. So I do think silver will eventually catch up and there will be some nice buying opportunities. But yeah, as of yet, not quite seeing that. It's becoming way too corrective. And we might actually see another bearish leg here for silver.